Her case wasn't solved for 37 years, and it was only solved because some people wouldn't give up on solving her case. Let's get into the 1980 cold case of Helene Pruszynski. Welcome to Beats True Crime Community, where we cover cases from the past to the present and all over the world. If you haven't, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into this case. People that knew Helene said that her smile and her laughter was contagious. She was actually an aspiring journalist that had an internship at a local radio station in Denver. She was also attending a college in Massachusetts called Wheaton College. She was also a junior in college, but on January 16th in 1980, she didn't return home. Now this alarmed her aunt, so her aunt called her workplace and asked one of her coworkers if she was still there or if she had plans to go somewhere else before coming home. Her coworker said that he had offered her a ride home after Helene seemed worried about the snow, but she ultimately agreed to take the bus home. Her aunt called in a missing persons report to the police, and the search for Helene started almost immediately. About a day later, they had discovered a woman's body in a field in Colorado. It was an area where there was only open plains. A woman had been driving down the road with her kids when she saw a body out in the distance in the field, and she flagged down a nearby construction worker. Her and the construction worker decided to call police and leave the premises. This body that they found was later confirmed to be Helene. This sent shockwaves through the community. She was fatally stabbed, and it was clear signs of SA. There was fluid found on her and in her that was later confirmed to be semen. But back then, they didn't have all the good DNA technology as we do now. But they did do a lovely job at preserving the DNA they got from the scene. After a year, there was no more leads and the case went cold. But there was a few people in her case that refused to let the case go. They wanted those answers for Helene's family. Some of the people that attended her funeral, they said that they saw how traumatized her parents were. On this case, considering she had a gag in her mouth, her arms like they were bound behind her back, and the fact that she was SA'd and fatally stabbed, police labeled this case as a crime of passion. And also considering that Helene was new to her town, this made them wonder if it was somebody that was close to her, maybe a coworker. So all of her coworkers were interviewed, but they came up with nothing. So who could have done this to Helene? She only had her aunt and her uncle. Her parents and her friends were back home. In 1984, they thought they had gotten a break in the case because two men came forward claiming that she was one of their victims. These were two men that were already claiming a lot of other victims, so the detectives heard them out about everything. But some of the details they gave didn't align with the autopsy, so those two men were ruled out. So here they were again back at square one. As time went on, DNA technology got better. There were some new detectives assigned to the case because they had started a cold case team of detectives. And luckily for Helene's family, her case was one of those cases. They opened the case and they used genealogy to track down who did it. At first, it connected them to the family of the person. Then, as they started getting DNA from each of the relatives, they got closer and closer to who it was. And this is when they found a mother that had given up two of her sons. They focused on one of the sons because he had already had a history of SA. He had went to jail for that case and was released. They surveillanced him until they were able to confiscate a DNA sample. They were able to get this DNA sample from a glass that he used at a bar, and the results were positive. It was a match for the suspect they were looking for. So they surveillanced him for some time after, and then they brought him in for questioning, and then he was arrested. While they were transporting him to jail, he said that he had his mind set on kidnapping and SAing a woman. So the police were correct that this was a crime of passion. It's just that instead of it being somebody that knew her, it was a man who had a lot of hate in his heart for women. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He admitted to seeing her get off the bus, so he turned his car around. He approached her with a knife and kidnapped her. Sending my condolences to her family because she deserved to live a really good life because she had so much going for her. He was ultimately sentenced to life in prison, but it's sad that it took nearly 40 years to solve her case. I hope her family got the closure they deserved. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more true crime, and I'll see you in the next case.